Okay, so meet Kevin just hit 339K views on SpaceX stock details. That's 6 times his channel average. Retail is hungry for this. But here's what the hype is missing. Everyone's talking about Starlink subscriber growth and rocket launch cadence. Nobody's connecting the dots between Elon's AI training demands at XAI and SpaceX's actual margin story. Follow the CapEx, not the launches, and you see something Wall Street hasn't priced yet. Let me be clear about what's happening. XAI just raised a reported $6 billion to build out AI training infrastructure. That capital is real, the compute demand is real, and Elon owns both the company that needs the power and the company that can deliver it via Starlink. That's not accidental, that's vertical integration. Nvidia's chips are roughly 50 to 70% of the total cost of setting up a training cluster. Power, cooling, and network connectivity are the next 30 to 50%. That's where SpaceX Starlink comes in. Starlink's got low latency global coverage, no terrestrial backhaul. That matters if you're training a model across distributed data centers. And Elon controls the network. So here's the arbitrage nobody is pricing. XAI needs compute infrastructure. Elon could either use terrestrial fiber and be subject to regional congestion and pricing, or use Starlink and own the margin stack. The second option saves money per token per second at scale. At scale, that's billions of dollars across a 5 to 10 year training cycle. Meet Kevin's video focused on SpaceX's valuation relative to Tesla. The all-in guys have been talking about SpaceX as a growth story. Both are right, but the real story is margin expansion through infrastructure arbitrage. SpaceX isn't just a launch company, it's becoming Elon's compute backbone. Now, here's where people push back. Starlink's latency is better than terrestrial fiber in some routes, sure, but it's not universally better everywhere. Satellite handoff delays exist, jitter happens on long training runs, fair. But the point isn't that it's perfect. The point is that it's good enough, and Elon owns it. That changes the unit economics of every XAI training job by maybe 15 to 25% once you factor in avoided vendor lock-in and power cost optimization. Scenario 1, XAI uses Nvidia compute plus terrestrial fiber, cost per token trained, baseline X. Scenario 2, XAI uses Nvidia compute plus Starlink network plus SpaceX power infrastructure, cost per token X minus 18%. Scale that across 10 exaflops of training capacity over 5 years. You're looking at a margin swing that's worth billions in net present value. Wall Street is still pricing SpaceX as a space launch company. It's actually becoming a compute utility. The All In podcast has been covering AI infrastructure, but they haven't connected the Starlink angle. Meet Kevin's got the private equity appetite nailed, but he's looking at valuation multiples, not the operational leverage underneath. That's the gap. That's where the real edge is. So here's what I'm watching. If SpaceX brings in new PE investors in the next funding round, their valuation assumptions will matter. Are they valuing it as a launch company or as infrastructure? If they're paying 8 to 12 times revenue for launch services, they're leaving money on the table. If they're pricing in the compute network economics, the multiple gets justified. Watch the next funding round. The valuation will tell you what informed money actually believes. Do you have exposure to SpaceX private equity through funds, or are you mostly following the public comps like Tesla and Nvidia? Drop a comment, and if you want deep dives on how Elon's empire actually connects, the AI, the infrastructure, the arbitrage nobody sees, stick around. That's what this channel does every morning. And here's the thing nobody talks about. A guy in California just set a Guinness World Record balancing 195 rolls of toilet paper on his head for 30 seconds. Not broken, not dropped. Optimized pure metrics. Zero actual value. Sounds like a metaphor for the entire AI scaling narrative, doesn't it? We're obsessing over exaflops and training tokens, and nobody's asking if the model actually knows anything useful. At least the toilet paper guy was honest about what he was doing. Thanks for watching. If you want more of this every morning, subscribe and I'll see you tomorrow.